Welcome, okay. Welcome to the NYP podcast. It took a lot to even get this far. I'm gonna be honest with you because I don't know what happened, but my computer doesn't want to act like a computer, so I couldn't do that through there, and so I'm basically just doing this on my phone. And hockey, I don't know. I don't know why my brain or my body didn't want to do it through my phone. And it makes me very upset. Cause that could have been the exact stopping point for me if I was like maybe, maybe like a couple months ago. Just got out of the gym, man. Man, finding out I just lost 7 pounds. I'm in the threes again. What? Like life is it's kind of healthy. I think my skin look. Don't get too close. You probably would have seen it. um, yeah, bro. But okay. So like, right. If you heard the beginning of this, you probably heard exactly what my you probably heard like my little intro thing, and that's kind of like the question you got to start asking yourself. It's not about what are we gonna do. It's about what aren't we gonna do. All right. What does that mean for real? Like it's just it could mean a lot of things. It really can. But the main thing I know it means is that not giving up. And one of the things that I realize we give up so much on is just like ourselves. We give up on ourselves. And what that really looks like is like when our brains have to go through a genuine and coherent thought, it just and it sucks. It sucks how like when we finally get to thinking, our brains want to our brains want to stop thinking. But man, we made it to the day of the podcast, episode one. Episode one. What? I ain't got my homie with me only because I'm taking a bit of a mental health break from everyone. I couldn't just like keep going through an emotional rigmarole. And in reality, I seen that was just leaking onto them, and I had to control myself. And that's honestly what I wanted to talk about. It's just like controlling your emotions. Now, that does not mean stopping your emotions. That doesn't mean like putting them to the side. Because one thing I've realized a lot in this whole red pill culture is why are they basically saying being a man is basically like this stoic bull. I don't want to really cuss, bro, because I'm trying to not do that. But at the same time, bro, like, what is this shit? Like, what is this? What is this stoic mentality you've been talking about? It makes no sense. Why do I gotta walk in a room with a straight face? Why am I considered weak because I wanna laugh, joke, and dance? And that's one of the things, like it's like, bro, like it's like you are really stopping yourself from expressing your emotions. Your emotions are healthy. Nobody understands that your emotions are healthy. We've been put in so many situations to where we just we don't even express ourselves. We don't express ourselves anymore. And that's what keeps us in this golden prison. We only express ourselves to certain people. We don't even express ourselves fully. We're never really ourselves around certain people. The only time where we're actually letting ourselves leak out is when we're by ourselves. And I find that insane. I find it insane that we can't be ourselves in this big world where everybody just wants to be themselves. Everybody just wants to be themselves. But the only thing is that they understand there's a healthy line of just keep yourself in the right headspace, and then you know being exactly goofy. But at the same time, bro, what exactly is the person walking on the corner going to do to you just because you laughed a little loud? What? They don't care about that. They really don't. It's like one of the things I had to realize is that people don't care. The cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. People don't care. No one really cares unless it involves them. And like I know it's crazy. I know you. I know like and I know the real reason why it's crazy because our minds have been tricking us for so long into thinking that the outside world is like out to get us. In reality, finding out that a lot of people don't even have an internal like thought process was hard hitting. You like because there's people who's in the rat race and they never think about how to get out of it. They just they just go, well, that's life. And like, don't you think that's pretty crazy? Don't you think that it's kind of crazy that we too, you and me, we are on this spectrum, on this upper echelon, thinking, how are we going to make it better for ourselves? How are we going to make it better for everyone else in the world? And I think that's the best quality about you. But first, you gotta figure out how you gonna better yourself. You can't better other people unless you better yourself first. And that took quite a while. About 2 years for me, maybe even more, because all of everything I've ever went through was all to lead to this moment. All of it. And that's honestly what I came here to talk about in today's podcast, because this is really about knowing who we are. What This is about knowing who we are, knowing who you, me. This is a long introduction. I'm sorry. But first, I do want to say if you want to give me a message or ask me a question or anything, you can send me an email at makingYouProud6113 at gmail.com. Making you proud 6113 at gmail.com. Send me an email, anything. Uh, hell, if you a small business owner, I'll shout you out. Look, you got a little product. Nah, don't say little. If you got a product that you want somebody else to know, you know it can help somebody who is in this demographic, let them know. Until I get mine, cause then I gotta put y'all to the side. But oh, oh my god, I'm really a crazy person. It's just a nigga talking to a camera right now. But yeah, so all right, look, here's the gist. Here's the gist of me. I can't do that. I don't know what the hell that is. I kind of just like started trying that, but here I am. So basically, I realize I can't really sit still right now. I think I'm a little excited, but I am. Calm down. My name is Omari. All right. One thing about me is that I was always instilled with the hustler mentality, and I. It took a while. It took a while. See, like I was one of those kids who always wanted a job, kinda. When I was like maybe in my early fives range. I was riding around in my cul-de-sac talk about I was an ice cream man in a tricycle. Cause I was on big business. Always on big business. But then I got a little older and all I wanted was my own money. Cause sometimes your parents ain't gonna give you nothing. They ain't gonna give you nothing just so you can learn something. But to be completely honest, the only reason why I wanted my own money is because I got sick of hearing the word no. And as I say parents, I don't really mean parents. I had grandparents. I grew up with my grandparents. I am an old soul because of them people. But I grew up with my grandparents, didn't have my mom, didn't have my dad until I was about 10. I really didn't know who he was. And no, that's not really a like a diss to him because he was just going through it. I'm not because like one thing I kind of believe in now is that it's not really everyone's responsibility to really take care of someone else, you know. See, like once I kind of was like out of his hands, he really shouldn't have to worry about me anyway. I don't know. It's kind of like it's a weird. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like when you really are on your own life path, you can't really you can't really like correlate everything in it. Now that does not mean that when I have children, I'm going to not be there. But that does mean like if detachment happens, maybe it happened. You know what I mean? I'm going through that right now. I'm going through that right now. I miss her, but it's okay. Uh, but um, I gotta get back on track. I gotta get back on track. I gotta get back on track. Oh my gosh, it like staying. See when you stay on course, you don't lose. You don't lose where you at. I guess. Um, So yeah, I grew up with my grandparents. Didn't know who my father was until I was about 10. But I always had hustle mentality, you know, and that's honestly because of my father. My father was a natural born hustler. Growing up, bumping Jeezy in a box Chevy. Growing up, bumping Jeezy in a box Chevy, just full blast, bass boosted. The mirrors are vibrating. I was instilled with hustle culture. Hustle culture was my life. I always wanted to get this bread. I think I kind of got tricked into it a little bit. I think I kind of got tricked into it a little bit because what happened was with all that happened, I ended up pretty much helping my father, take care of his business, and he had a little car wash detailing business. Uh, Yeah, and then that was when I really got the taste of having my own money. Because of course he paid me, but I had the taste of having my own money, and I barely spent it. Man, I would go to my pops and then come home after the weekend because that's of course when I was really going over there. I couldn't go over there because I had school. When I come home from the weekend of hanging out with my pops, I come home with about a like look hundred and some dollars, because we was because I was the hustler, natural born. You know what I mean? So I was just a hustler, and I come back, come back down home, and I'm basically just putting my money in a shoebox. You know what I mean? That's one of the worst parts about like growing up as a kid, cause when times is weird, your money not gonna be there. The only thing was that I really didn't understand the value of money at the same time, so not going to say too much. But just growing up with grandparents, man, and it just put a different state of mind in me and push a little bit forward going through high school because I don't really want to talk about all the middle school stuff because I wasn't even. Hell, wait, no, I should talk about that. So around elementary to middle school, I was an emotional mixed bag. Like in elementary school, I was in anger management because I really couldn't control my temper. And the reason why I couldn't control my temper is because I miss my mom so much, man. I was really missing my mom. And like I think cuz I remember so vividly like when I was like a baby, I was so attached. Baby as in like in the 3 range, 3 to 5 range. But like once like I was just so attached. Like you couldn't get me off of my mom unless you had a crowbar. And then once I lost her, she not dead. She's not dead. I got my mom today. But once I lost my mom, uh it hurt. Like it hurt for so long. And I was just going through elementary school. Like, oh my gosh, I remember sometimes I used to just like tear up because some kid would literally get picked up from school and I'd start crying on the way to the bus. Oh my gosh. And then I remember there was this one mom who was really a part of the class. She was a dope mom. I'm not even gonna hold you. But she was really a part of the class. And she always like, had activities for the classroom and all that. I went to a white school. So so she was always a part of the class. Always had something for us. Always had like cupcakes, little games. Everything was kind of cool because of this dude's mom. And that used to hit me the hardest. And I swear, I think that's why I didn't like him. I low key didn't like a kid because of his mom. Because his mom was so active, and I always seen her. And and like that's when I kind of discovered fighting around that time. Like I understood fighting and using my largeness as a way to, you know, I wouldn't say do what I want, but get the job done. So I'm just always waiting for this kid to to like no get on me sideways or something so I could just square up on him. But yeah, um, I always had resentment. It ended up getting so bad I had to go to therapy. But that didn't exactly do its job. So we pushed to middle school. And middle school is when I went to therapy again, only because those missing my moms turned into like true depression. Like depression. And it lasted so long. And it lasted until like I didn't realize I was depressed until about 11th grade. Not 11th grade, until about 10th grade when I got my first girlfriend. Because she was on this depressed train. But I didn't realize I was depressed until then. But around that time, it was when I got my mom back. So yeah, like, imagine a kid going on his whole life without his mom. Then she kind of comes back, and it's just like it was such a weird adjustment period. It was like a stranger at that point. It was like I didn't know who this woman was. So yeah, I was depressed. I still felt like I didn't have my mom. Um, but at the same time, I did, and but then pushed forward. I'm not really gonna talk about exes because that is a slippery slope right now. So push forward. Life was life, and I graduated high school. Surprisingly, I'm not gonna hold you. I did not care. Ooh, I did not care about school. Something just wouldn't let me care about school. Something just wouldn't let me care about school. Nothing was letting me care about school. I couldn't like for first year, ninth grade. I was a participant. D's and C's that showed that I was at least putting my name on the paper. But then once 10th grade happened and I discovered ass, oh nah, I didn't care about school no more. Look, in reality, I will say this. I actually didn't want to lose my virginity until I was married. But I was peer pressured. I will say that. I had a clique of friends and they all was basically like, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? Y'all together. Da, 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 da." And then, it was just like I had to it's like it's one of those moments when I kind of it's like I should have realized like I really shouldn't let people speak for me. But push forward, digress. Hold on. Oh, but yeah. So um yeah, it's kind of like but like in reality it was like I kind of siphoned bad energy. If that really makes sense. Push forward. High school graduation. I remember when I got home and I just sat there. I didn't even get home. I forgot whose house I was at. But I remember I just sat there and looked at the pamphlet, then looked at the ground. And all my brain could think was nothing. For like the first time in years, my brain was thinking about nothing. And the only thing I could think of was, what now? Because genuinely, that was my only goal. Finishing high school. Looking at this pamphlet, looking at this, and just thinking to myself, what now? So I did what any other I did what any other high school graduate did. I went to work. I went to work, made my bread, and in reality, I just did a whole bunch of saving. I didn't know what I was saving for. I just did a whole bunch of saving. And there, I mean, oh man, now that I really think about it, there's a lot that happened that in my middle school year that I really should talk about. But we're not gonna talk about that right now. Yeah. So after the whole what now, we just went straight to work. Push a little bit forward, a little bit forward. Um, this is like I want to say this was the real changing block for me. So what happened was I ended up getting into a little relationship, and in reality, that relationship was probably the worst thing. I didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way because I didn't know what was going on. I don't know. I feel like a part of me still isn't ready to speak about it. But what happened? What happened? What happened? I messed with this chick. We ended up separating after like a little bit. Um, kind of it was honestly my fault for the separation. But at the same time, I I felt like I dodged a bullet at the same time. But then but then my mind kept pinging. Like my mind kept pinging on her. And then one day the news hits me. I'm not gonna say that, but this girl was 4 months PR and didn't say a word to me. Oh my gosh. Distraught in pain, confusion, all of that. My entire mindset was going crazy. I couldn't keep a straight thought for nothing. And I just had all these emotions that I just couldn't express. I couldn't say how I was feeling. I couldn't say a word because she wasn't talking to me. Had no clue. And then kind of one day I just kind of faced my fear and said something. I really said I wanted to be in this child's life. I said that because I wanted this child to have the one thing I didn't have: parents. Uh, man, man, man. Took care of that child for over 6 months just to find out the kid was not my son. Oh, I shouldn't joke about it. I really shouldn't joke about it, but again, it's one of those things I got to work through it. Oh, I remember when I found out the news, my heart fell into my ass and I felt like I couldn't feel anything again. But then I realized how much progress. So like around that time, while I was taking around in those 6 months, um, that's when I started getting really serious about my business. I went and got my business license. I already had my LLC started up, got the business license, um, was about to go to the bank to get my loan in order to really start it. Found out that I didn't have good credit. I didn't have any credit. Um, so signed up for credit. And in about I don't know how long it took for me to get to the 600 credit score, but it was somewhere about 8 months altogether. Like yeah, altogether. So yeah, ended up getting to the 600 credit score and was about to and like life was happening. Got an apartment. Got my first apartment. Got my truck that I do videos in now. Um, and yeah, I was really taking it all seriously. Then finding out that it wasn't mine, I was just like, yo, I just started. I basically started my life while I was still figuring it out for nothing. I can't quit now. I may feel like my heart is in my ass, but I can't quit now. And now we're here today. I have finally gone through and made the Making You Proud podcast. It was originally called the Winning Circle podcast, but that account ended up going a little bit off of a hinge. And the only reason why I say that is because I wanted to save that for later, if that makes sense. The I wanted to save the gaming content for later, but I may post something on there every once in a while. I'll put the link in the description so y'all can, I guess, go watch the one video I really did. But yeah, and I was just like, bro, but this is the thing. Look, I don't want I had that realization not too long ago that when I had my why, I had no fear. I had no fear that anything could go wrong. I had no fear that it wasn't going to work. When you have a why, that's when you realize that it's no point. It's no point of being scared at that point. we're so caught up in our heads that we think something is going to happen or is going to be the end of us that we don't even try at all. Actually, whole time, I totally forgot to say this. A little bit, yo. So okay, I did make a story time about it, but right after I finished high school, I used to smoke weed like crazy, like crazy every time I got the chance. I did quit. I did quit. I was vaping as well. Did quit that too. Smoked a couple black and miles. Quit that as well. I don't drink anymore. That's probably why my face so. You know what I mean? But I'm a cornball. But see, the real reason why I really quit smoking is because that stuff was starting to mess with a nigga. Like it was really starting to mess with me. I remember, like, cause I have sometimes I get a really vivid dream. I get a really vivid and obscure dream, but it feels like it's real. People call them premonitions. I'm hitting this booth, right? Ooh, ooh, we high as the hell, and we high on the beach. I gotta say that part. We high on the beach. I'm looking at the water. I'm like, yo, wow, I feel like it's getting closer. Death came into my head, and then that was the start. That was the start of my biggest fear ever, death. I was so afraid of it. And that's what real fear is. That was what real fear was. It's just the fear that it's like the barrier that happens with our anxieties. We're so afraid that something is going to happen, that is going to be the end of us, and we don't get another chance. But failure means you're going in the right direction. That's what I learned from. And honestly, you want to know what really made me take that leap of faith? One Piece. Oh yeah, yes, yes, yes. I watched 47 episodes of One Piece. You thought I was about to watch that? You thought I was about to watch thousands? I don't know how many episodes there is. I'm not watching all of them. I watched me 47 episodes of One Piece and got the gist. Luffy said the hardest thing ever, bro. And then when I seen my homie Zoro take that leap of faith, then I seen my dog Usopp, the best sharpshooter without a sharpshooter. When I seen my boy say, I know I'm scared, but I'ma still give it my all. Mm! I had realized, and then but like, see, this all came off of Luffy. What my boy Luffy said. He said, he ain't really say this, but he said, I'm gonna reach the goal I set my life to go for. If I die chasing that goal, then I die. Bro died. Bro had the mentality that if I died for something that I want, if I die for this thing that I'm fighting for, it's worth it. I had a life worth living. And that's what really made me go, I can't be afraid of death. I know it's inevitable. It's gonna happen regardless. But at least I can at least I can go for this challenge of a lifetime. In reality, ooh, excuse me. Ooh, I'm hiccuping. In reality, we got all these animes that basically tell us how we gonna live. I remember I started watching this off. Uh, what first anime was? Uh, first anime. First anime was Dragon Ball. Then we watching Naruto. Then we watching. I don't really watch anime, to be honest. But again, if you want to give me some anime suggestions, I'll watch them. I'll watch them, but they gotta be good. Cause the only thing I really finished was Death Note. Uh, but yeah, I mean, if you really want to give me some suggestions, you can. But yeah, so like Naruto, his entire goal is so high that he feels like that's the only way it's gonna validate him. I realized that the only reason why I really started to become an entrepreneur or wanted to make this generational wealth or wanted to be the millionaire, the billionaire, is because I wanted to make my life the sacrifice that made everyone else's life easier. Really big goal. I know. Alright. Then Goku just wanting to be great, just to be great. What's the point of living a life if you ain't gonna do something with it? That's how I think. I don't know if you can hear that. It's a siren going on. But yeah, man, that's what it's about. That's really what it's about. Just living that life. All right, but let's get into a little segment. All right. I call this one I call this I don't know. Top five top five top five best video games I only got to play and never got to beat, but I still think it's the best game in the world. All right. At number five, we got Def Jam Fight for New York. This is ranked, okay? So five is gonna be Def Jam Fight for New York. I'm sorry. It's not, it's look, it is a dope game, but it ain't the best. It ain't the best. You wanna know why? Because of Ice T, and I still don't like that. I may put that. Ooh, I could not stand the Ice T fight, and then I couldn't stand the Fat Joe fight neither. Something about you light skinned niggas, light skinned big niggas. It's like my okay. At number four, this is gonna be a look. This is gonna you're not even gonna understand this one. But Super Mario Galaxy 2. I ain't never got to finish that, but I know that game was fire. I know that game was fire. I just couldn't finish it because that damn B level. Ooh, the damn B level. Number three. Three. The Sims Pets for the Nintendo DS. I knew that game was gonna be fire. I just couldn't get past. I couldn't get past the tutorial. I couldn't get past the tutorial. Oh my gosh. Number two. Number two. This is a doozy. This is a doozy because this is hard. This is hard. But we gonna have to go Kingdom Come Deliverance. The first one. Top five best games of all time. I just couldn't finish it. Honorable mention. Honorable mention. Honorable mention. Skyrim. Elder Scrolls. I think it's five. Honorable mention. Because who actually plays Skyrim to play Skyrim? I downloaded mods and then went with my life. I don't even know which one's the main mission. And at number one, best game of all time that I just couldn't finish, but I know it was fire. Legends of Zelda Wind Waker for the Nintendo Wii U. Fire. Fire. Absolutely mad that I couldn't finish that game. It wasn't my Wii U. That's why I couldn't finish it. It wasn't my Wii U. Having that much fun on someone else's game, bro. All right, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, but just like I said, if you hit me up, um, suggestions, whatever you got for me, questions, want to know about me a little bit more, want to know how I can help you, just email me at makingyouproud6113 at gmail.com. And I guess I'll set up a number or something, but if you don't really want to do that, just comment. I guess that's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Episode one of the podcast. I'll bring someone on next time, but yeah, that was episode one. It's a start. It's a start. I'm telling you, we're gonna make you proud when we get to like episode 20 or something. I don't know.